Good afternoon, all. DAYTRADING.org coming to you this Friday afternoon, January 7th, and we are looking at Window Trader's market profile of SPY, IWM, and triple Qs. Not a good finish to the week for the bulls. Really could get nothing going. The only positive thing is sellers had an opportunity to really push this. And we're going to go over all three of these indices charts, and they're very, very interesting. They're getting. We held, SPY and ES held a set of single prints from December 22nd, bounced off of those, and bounced above the 50-day moving average. We closed below the 20, above the 50, so we're stuck in that range. Triple Qs and NQ got down to a very visual level on both the weekly and the monthly charts. We'll discuss those. And Russell was 7 wide, and that's all they ended as. They almost went out with a price probe towards the end of the day. Russell and Qs end up with pretty much a B shape for long liquidation. We're pretty much a bell curve as we were 12 out of 13 wide, right at half back. Our volume park was there, VWAP was there, so we really couldn't get any away from there, which really benefited though when it came to trading. Finished the week on a good week trading wise. So I started in A period. That trade I was going to take yesterday when I said if we come down and fill the gap and get above the opening to take it for liquidation, an inventory adjustment. Well, I did the same thing. Today I got it, but it wasn't based on really the same thing. We went down, got a little bit of M's low, came back up, got above the opening, took the 467 calls, rode those up to the I said to the room, if we get above the opening, we're getting that POC from yesterday and the overnight POC. Look how wide they were. That was a magnet. Took those and rode them up. So that was a nice trade to start the day of the 467s. Now, I told you I've been having this pretty much a mental block getting back to what I used to like to do of when the market started breaking below time frames, getting on board. I didn't take it when we first got on board. I can tell you that. I missed a good part of it. However, I did do well in C and D, shorting the 467, buying the 467 puts and scalping them. Every push up was a short, back down, took it off, and those worked out. But I did not get the break of it. Now, the reason I didn't take the break of it today was kind of twofold. One, I wanted to see what was going to happen at the 50-day moving average. That was one concern, not concern, but that was one of the things I thought might be a deterrent to the market really flushing out. Well, it did get below there, and then we went, not only did we get yesterday's low, we went below it. Didn't spend any time down there, but it did get back. So I missed that big move, but again, I did well in C and D. E period, I took another short. I thought maybe they would defend the one-time framing down one more time. Didn't look like it was going to happen. I ended up taking off for a small loss when we took out D's high, and then we backed off. So I took a long because we hadn't filled the single prints yet. I was like, well, I believe we're going to go fill the singles. So I took the 465 calls and made money and rode that up when it went. And then, believe it or not, when E continued to go up, I took a short against the opening, which worked out. So I shorted E, lost small, long D, made money, and then shorted E with the 470s and made money the second time. Then I didn't do much. We just, look at this, F balance, G down, H up, I down, not much happening. I was looking for value low to take along, and I got it beautifully. I started with a 5, a 10, added 30, 45 lot play, and went back up and held some and took the rest off at the point of control. Those were on 465 calls. And then in L, twice I scalped shorts between value high and the opening. But again, the way I bought, I had no problem buying 45 calls down here. I shouldn't have had any problem buying 45 or 50 puts up here. First of all, I used to be a lot more comfortable on the short side. And second of all, we had lower value. We took out the overnight low, the overnight the IB low. Everything was in favor of the sellers. Should have taken a bigger play and should have held them longer. Made small on both of them, but certainly didn't capitalize. So as you can see, still looking to get comfortable the way I used to be very comfortable on the short side. Trying to get it back, right? But Again, we're always working on things. As far as destinations, the upside has 12 wide at 466.93, which was our point of control today. Then we have the afternoon rally high in L of 467.98. Today's high of 469.20. And yesterday's high of 470.82. For the downside, 464.65. Today's low is now a weekly low. And then we have the single prints. They now start at 464.64 and get filled at 59 cents. There's only 5 cents left on that first set. And you should have everything else I gave you yesterday. Now, one other point. The all-time high is now a weekly high after this week, obviously. Now let's go to the charts because there's a lot of interesting things happening here after the first week of the new year. Now, let's go to Russell first. Russell's obviously still having issues. I mean, this is an incredible monthly balance. We're now, including this month, 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. March was still going up. April put us into balance. So for the last 10 months, we've basically been in balance. They broke out of it one time. Only one time we've gotten out of March's high or low. And that was in November by $10. We were like, here we go. And they put the brakes on and that's it. A failed breakout above a long balance. Then we went the other way, got close to the bottom of it, and then rallied. Right? We rallied all the way up to 227. Well, we closed not far off the lows of the week. Firm balance in the monthly. And, is that an inside week? Let me just see something. Oh, no, it's not an inside week. We took out last week's high. So it's firm balance. Weekly. Balance, but more importantly, outside week down. Bearish. Okay? So we took out last week's high, took out last week's low, and closed below it. So even though it's balance, it's bearish with an outside week down. And the daily, inside day, very interesting. The daily went from balance to down. So we're down, and we had an inside day. I didn't realize this was an inside day today. Let me see something. 220.42. Yep, we just missed taking out yesterday's high by 4 cents, and we missed taking out yesterday's low by 11 cents. You can't paint a more even picture than that. They closed below all three, the 50, the 200, and the 20. So you can call it down to balance. It's an inside day. So what does that mean? To me, it means if we come out of this inside day to the downside, well, the next level should be around the 212 level, and then below that, the 208, 209 level. So if they come out of it to the downside, more punishment, more hurting for Russell Longs. So the monthly is balance. Weekly is balance with an outside week down. Daily is down to balance with an inside day. Very interesting stuff. Now, triple Qs is really getting interesting. Balance on the monthly. Okay? We just missed taking out last month's low today by 57 cents. If we take that out, the monthly is going to go from balance to down. And the next destination isn't until 350. Keep that in mind. So balance for now on the monthly, but it's teetering. Weekly. Balance. We were up last week. All we did this week, even though we had a really big week down, $24, is put us into balance. Right? Markets don't go bull bear. We're just in balance. However, we got close to the bottom of this balance. They bounced off it initially. Balance rules are just as important, if not more important, than gap rules. So now the goal for the bulls is to defend last month's low, which is also the bottom of our 6-week balance low. If they're able to do that, well, then they can start grinding back up possibly to the top of the balance. But if we take out now December 20th's low, the monthly would be down, the weekly would be down, and you have more pain on the horizon. And again, see this line I have here? That would be my ultimate destination, at least initially, the 350 level. So monthly is balance, weekly is balance, but they're teetering at the low end of that. And the daily is firmly down. One-time framing down, 3 days. I told the room today, if we get acceptance below 377.47, we'll go see that 200-day moving average, without a doubt. I really believe we would. So something to keep an eye on. Acceptance, though. Don't just take out this daily low by like 10 cents and pop back in. And now let's go to SPY and ES. We're in a little better shape on the monthly, right? We're nowhere near last month's low just yet. I'm going to call the monthly, though, balance. Even though we took out last month's high, I was giving them their due, and I know it's early in the month, but the fact that we've come in basically $14 from the high, or $15 from the high to the low of so far, I'm going to call it balance. Now, it's still an outside month up the previous month, so it's still bullish for the buyers to see if they can hold last month's low and get going again, but I'm going to call it balance for now. Weekly is balance, but we had an outside week down. So all three of us have outside weeks down. That's pretty bearish. But just unlike the Qs, where they're at their balance low, look at us. Now, if we take out this week's low, our weekly goes from balance to down, and then our destination will be the bottom of this balance. And you know what that low is? A monthly low. And then things can start changing. So monthly is balance, outside month up from the other month. Weekly is balance, outside week down. And then the daily is firmly down now. One-time framing down, 3 days. So not a good start to the year for the bulls, right? After they rallied towards the end of the last week of the year, put them in pretty good shape coming into January to possibly have, that January effect and get the market moving, get new highs. Now, we did get an all-time high. Make no mistake about it, we did. But boy, we spent no time up there at all. So it's going to be interesting going forward. We have earnings that are going to be starting up, a lot happening. So it should be interesting. 82 million shares on the tape, another range over $4. We can't complain. If we have ranges of $4+ and volume from 70 to 100 million, I would take that every day. So we had a really good day again in the trading room and for the whole week. Thanks for the likes for all these videos. Put a lot of time and effort into this. Come check us out at camelbacktrading.org. Enjoy your weekend, and we'll speak prior to the opening on Monday.